My name is Candace Tyler, and I went to India twice. When I was at Sunnydale, I went in 2011 and 2012, my junior and senior years. So we were in the Sundarban Islands, and they really had very limited resources to learning about Christianity. Some of them had never heard of it. Some of them had never seen a white person before or heard the name Jesus. So it was really just a really new mission trip to be in that area. And I hadn't really been raised Adventist. I did go to an Adventist school, but I didn't really know like what we believed a whole lot. And so when I was a junior in high school and I went to India, I was going to be preaching. And as I was studying in order to preach, I realized that I was learning a lot of things for myself, about God and about the Bible and how we know that the Bible is true. And I just didn't really know that stuff before. And it was really, really cool for me personally just to grow in that experience, because before I never really had an incentive or even a motive to really study the Bible. I didn't really care to, but that was really cool for me. And in another way that it was just amazing was that I got to see another part of the world, because I'd grown up in this rural town in Missouri, and I had gone to St. Louis a couple times, Kansas City a couple times, that's pretty much it. So seeing a different part of the world in such a real, drastic way was just really eye-opening. I remember going back to India the second year, and there was a chance that we were going to have to visit the village that I had preached at the year before. And I was really excited to go. And so when I got off the boat, they had seen us coming from a while away. So they kind of gathered everyone near the shore. And when I got off the boat, there was a little kid that I remember. He was a really, really helpful kid. Every time I got there the year before, he would run to my rickshaw, grab all my stuff, carry it for me, help me set up, give me hugs, just a sweet, sweet little, probably 8-year-old boy. And I had tons of pictures of him on my computer from the year before. And he didn't remember me. And I kept saying, don't you remember me? And my translator was like, yeah, don't you remember her? And Pastor Scott was there with the camera, trying to show it. And he was like, making this weird face. And then I was like, wow, that's really disappointing. And Pastor Scott turned the camera off. Right when he turned the camera off, he looked up and he said, Candace. And then he gave me a big hug. And it was terrible timing for the camera, but it was a really special moment. But then we got into the town and we started talking with the people, and they ran out with their Bibles and they showed us where they had been underlining things, and they had been praying, and they were still, keeping the Sabbath and things like that. And it was really, really awesome to see that a year later. So going on mission trips at Sunnydale really gave me a passion for missions and for getting to know what other cultures are like, and getting to know people where they're at, and sharing Jesus in that way. And so I decided when I came to Union that I wanted to spend a year as a student missionary. And that was one of the best decisions of my life, because that year really changed me. Of course, going on a short-term mission trip was really great and giving me a perspective. But spending a year as a student missionary, you really have to adopt the culture rather than just experiencing the culture. So spending a year as a student missionary, I really had to learn how to live a different way. And that helped me just really grow as a person, and also it just changed my priorities. When I was a typical American girl growing up, just wanting to have, a nice house and a white picket fence and 2 kids and a nice job, just seeing that there's so much need in the world, and there are kids who don't even have parents. How can I be so focused on my own little life when there's so much in the world that I can be focused on that's so much greater than just me? One of the biggest ways that I am able to use a skill that I learned as a missionary is being adaptable. And I think that's a great skill for everyone to learn. But Being a teacher is really important to be adaptable, because there's all kinds of families that will send their kids to the school, and just being able to kind of put yourself in their position and think about things and try not to be judgmental, and I think that's really important, and that has really helped me grow as a person. To anyone who helped me be a missionary, I want to say thank you. And to anyone who is interested in giving money for a kid who's going to be a missionary, you really, really should do it, because not only is it a great experience for the kid, it really does impact the lives of the people there. Like, I went back a year later after being in India, and these people were still reading the Bibles that I had given them, and really changed their life, and it gave them hope and peace and a new way to live. That's really, really valuable. If you're thinking about being a student missionary, you absolutely should do it. I actually work at the missions department at Union College. I'm the missions coordinator, so that's my job, helping people fill out the paperwork, get the process going to be missionaries. So obviously it's something I'm really passionate about. I think that you absolutely should do it.